Thank you very much for joining us for another exciting edition of the Lunch Cafe on Camnet TV. Thank you very much that you chose channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on Topstar, and on Topstar we are on channel 106, and on GoTV we are on channel 25. And this is a program that comes to you every day at 11:45, and it comes to give you the highlights of what is happening currently, and also we take you back into time to look at stories that were making the headlines back then, and also we give you an opportunity to get to talk to us, give us your contributions and views as regards the stories that we are looking at on that particular day. This morning we have a very interesting stories that are coming through from the field. Interestingly, one is from the Patriotic Front, which is making the headlines. We'll be getting into that particular story very shortly. And also we do have stories from the Western Province, where Miriam Kayemba reports that the secretary to the royal establishment in Shangombo district of the Western Province, Dominic Shomeno, says hunger is rooming in the district following the dry spell that was experienced in that particular district this year. So we do have that story also that will be coming up on this particular program, where hunger is looming in the Western Province, and also a very interesting story coming through from the Patriotic Front. Patrick Soko is on the ground, and he will be giving us the details of that particular story as we look at what is emerging from the field. Also, from the field, we do have an interesting story that is coming through, where we see the Community Action Against Corruption expressing shock as regards the 65 million kwacha, and we are also going to be looking at that particular story. For now, let's quickly have a look at the story which is coming from the Southern Province. The Western Province, where Miriam Kayemba reports that the secretary to the royal establishment in Shangombo district, Western Province, Dominic Shamengo, says hunger is looming in the district due to the dry spell that was experienced in that particular district last year. Now, Mr. Shameno tells Camnet News in an exclusive interview that the residents are experiencing a shortage of maize because farmers were hit by a dry spell, and this could see a serious shortage in that particular district. So that's a story that is we expect to have the details at our 19 hours menus. Now, there is a very interesting story that is building up from the Patriotic Front, and it says that the Patriotic Front PF Media Director Antonio Mwanza has charged that the PF leadership is not showing any willingness to hold a general conference. Patrick Soko was at this particular briefing and brought us this up to update us what is going on.
Our belief and commitment to Ubuntu, our belief and commitment to making sure that Zambia is united, and that everybody who works hard is given an opportunity to prosper. That is what makes us we are. You cannot buy, you cannot sell Mourinho. I cannot be sold. I have no price. My life is a very simple life. Anybody who knows me from my days at university know who I am. When a president of the University of Zambia was given the whole room to live in, I was living in a bunker, a pantry. I was sleeping on the bathtub, and I put a door, a broken door, on top, and that's where I was sleeping. Because I wanted to feel the pain that every student was going through who didn't have accommodation. Some people question my loyalty to the Patriotic Front. And I want to say that if there's anybody who has stood for the Patriotic Front, who has fought for the Patriotic Front, who has defended the Patriotic Front, If there is anyone who defines what loyalty is, dedication, selflessness, commitment to duty is, that person is Antonio Mourinho Mwanza. I have fought for this party, the Patriotic Front. I've spent the last 5 years defending things that nobody was ready to go on radio, on TV to defend. I've spoken in favor of the party, even when it was not fashionable to do so. Even when we were unpopular, I've always stood to defend the Patriotic Front because I've always believed in our goal to ensure a properly developed Zambia in terms of infrastructure and opportunity for all, especially those people like myself who come from the compounds, and the farmers who toil every day, the workers who work every day and still can't take their children to school because the money is not enough. Because a party without a leader cannot sell. A party without a president cannot sell. Our members want to see a president elected. Our members recognize that we only have got 2 years before the next election. Our members want to see a party with a president. Having been part and parcel and worked for the Central Committee as a person at the Secretariat, I can say this with confidence, that there is no commitment, there is no willingness, there is no desire, there is no dedication whatsoever from Central Committee to take this party to the General Conference.
That is the latest news coming in from the Patriotic Front, where we've seen the media director giving his thought as regards the General Conference, and also he stepping down as media director of the Patriotic Front. This is a developing story, and make sure to tune in at 19:30 so that you have the full details of that particular story. Patrick Soko is on the ground to bring the details of that particular story. Now, moving on, the Community Action Against Corruption has expressed shock that up to now, the leaked letter alleging that 65 million kwacha was confiscated from Faith Mtonda was released in public domain. Now, the Auditor General's office has not yet issued any statement as regards that matter. Let's have a look at this.
You know, it is very much shocking to learn that up to now, the Auditor General's office has not issued a statement denying that the letter, which is at the center of the allegation that the 65 million kwacha confiscated from Faith Mtonda has been misappropriated, or it has been misused. It is surprising. Why should it take 24 hours, 48 hours, or this long by the Auditor General's office to distance itself from that letter, if that letter never came from them? Because at the moment, as things stand, that letter is a contradiction. It is now standing in contradiction with whichever statement government has made concerning that 65 million kwacha. And we can say whatever statement will come from the Auditor General's office denying that the letter never came from them will be taken as a damage control measure. But otherwise, the silence which has been shown so far is indicative of a situation where the letter must have come from them.
Thank you very much for joining us for the midday news on Camnet TV. My name is Makokwa Kozi. First, we take a look at the stories making the headlines. Witness tells court that Francis Muchemwa, a PF supporter, was on the ZESCO payroll. Patriotic Front members of parliament walk out of parliament protesting over police arrests. In international news, Rwanda genocide suspect Felician Kabunga declared unfit to stand trial. We have details of these and other stories. Join us after the break.
Hey, join me, Amazing Katamanda, on the weekly gospel show for those exciting and interesting interviews with your favorite gospel music.
Hold on to me when it's too dark to see. You cannot put your power back to war.
Hallelujah. And this time around, we are bringing to you entertainment news and the countdown, as you guys are able to nominate your top 3 favorite music videos of the week. Remember, it's every Saturday at 10:45. You can also catch repeats every Monday at 10 hours. Camnet TV is not just another time.
Welcome back, and now the news in detail. Kitwe's Wusakile Member of Parliament, Pavuma Kalobo, is happy with the flow of the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, in his constituency. Mr. Kalobo says a number of projects have been implemented using CDF, which has empowered people in the constituency. He said the implemented projects have also helped to mitigate challenges that people in the communities are faced with. He cited projects such as the construction of bridges, a school, wall fence at Nkana Primary School, rehabilitation of roads and procurement of desks in schools as some of the projects that have been implemented so far under the CDF. Mr. Kalobo has, however, expressed concern over what he termed as bad quality of desks being supplied in some schools. He says there was need for the Ministry of Education and local authority and the suppliers to properly agree on the sample before the desks can be supplied to avoid compromising on quality. He said it will not help for government to spend huge sums of money on products that are not durable. The Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, JCTR, says the cost of living for a family of 5, as measured by the Basic Needs and Nutrition Basket, BNNB, for the month of May 2023 in Lusaka, reduced by 34.67 kwacha. JCTR's Social and Economic Development Program Officer, Aguila Ngonga, says the basket moved from 9,112 kwacha to about 9,077 kwacha. But some traders at Kaunda Square Market say the price of commodities have never reduced due to the high prices of transport, hence challenging the government to further consider lowering the cost of fuel. Here's a report.
The high exchange rate, coupled with the high prices of fuel, has continued to put pressure on the Zambian economy, which has resulted in the high prices of essential foods, goods, and services. According to the Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, the Basic Need and Nutrition Basket for the month of May 2023 in Lusaka reduced by 24.67 kwacha from 9,112 kwacha to 9,077 kwacha.
Basic Needs and Nutrition Basket for the month of May 2023 in Lusaka stood at 9,077.93 kwacha. In comparison to the recorded figure of 9,102.60 kwacha in April 2023, this signifies a decrease of 34.67 kwacha. The basket's downward movement can be attributed to price decreases in food items such as 3.6 liters of cooking oil, which dropped by 51.72 kwacha from 162.20 kwacha to 110.48 kwacha. 14 kilograms of other fruits, which dropped by 47.43 kwacha.
But a check at Kaunda Square Stage 1 market has shown that the prices of most food items are still very high, which is affecting many businesses.
300, ili 45. Pera ilimo 80, 250. Apple ilimo 100, 400. Nuts ilimo 60, 230. Banana ilimo 90, 185.
Aka 30, aka 40, aka 50. Ini 270. Aka ni 150. Rice. Aka 10. Aka 20. Aka 30. Aka 40.
The traders have since called on the government to consider lowering the cost of fuel, which they say has been a major contributing factor to the hike in transport fares, which they say is the reason why most food items have still remained high despite the reduction in some prices.
Reorder, baleda ndawula kali transport. Kwe bati transport ili high. Leti bati manage. So ba government nga batu bafishe kodi fuel yabwera, maybe kutufya bako bwino. Maybe kutufya twafisha. Namba kutureorder kuba nti banezo. Balebo mfya ma transport. Tibati pisha shani.
Aso amayeki aye. Turashita 50 kwacha 3. Namba fwe bakushitisha. Warasha kali shinga. So batulolekeshe ko mugwayi ba government bebe kwa abantu balabaleta amayeki batukweseshe nabena balela ndati feed na ifo yali tuli ngafo kututwabwesha shani ero plus fuel yakuleta nayo bali rumba.
For now, government has to find a way of quickly addressing the high exchange rate, high fuel prices, and the high inflation rate, which has remained above the target range if it is to lower the cost of living. Prudence Jota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Zambia Sugar Country Managing Director Oswald Magwenzi says the institution is focusing on separating recyclable material such as paper and plastics, making them into valuable resource to minimize negative environmental impacts. Mr. Magwenzi also says the Zambia Sugar Company is also converting waste from the company's sugar production process to energy and fertilizer by compositing meal organics for reuse in sugarcane fields as manure. He says business cannot thrive if the environment is destroyed, and says there is need for companies to preserve the environment by adapting to sustainable practices. This was contained in a speech read on his behalf by Agriculture Head Anton Domleo during the commemoration of World Environment Day under the theme Beating Plastic Pollution.
This is one of the most pressing issues. You'll all remember, the people that were in Mazabuka a couple of months ago when the rains arrived. What happened to the streams and the canal and the water that was polluted with the plastics. Unprecedented amount of plastic coming down out of the village, landing up in blocking up the canals, in our water courses. It's quite eye-opening. So this scourge, as I call it, is overwhelming. Plastic products are overwhelming the ability of the world to deal with them. Large volumes of plastics are entering the environment. There's a mismanagement of waste and is responsible for causing pollution, killing the wildlife, and using up the resources of the earth.
Government has granted Starlink, a satellite internet service provider owned by SpaceX, an operation license to operate in Zambia. Speaking during the launch on Wednesday, Science and Technology Minister Felix Mutati says the coming of Starlink will provide internet connectivity. And Smart Zambia National Coordinator Percy Chinyama believes that the move will help in boosting connectivity.
In the era where the world is a global village, thanks to technology, the need to create an inclusive and equitable internet for all, especially for the disadvantaged groups such as citizens in rural and peri-urban areas, people living with disabilities, women and girls, cannot be ignored. In the quest to bridge the digital divide that exists in the various parts of the country, Minister of Science and Technology Felix Mutati believes time is now to utilize the social and economic benefits of technology that serves the need of citizens effectively and diligently. Mr. Mutati was speaking during the granting of an operation license to Starlink, a satellite internet service provider owned by SpaceX.
We have to deliver government services to the doorstep, to our people. When we're delivering CDF, let it be delivered at the doorstep. When they're delivering social cash transfer, let it be delivered at the doorstep. Youth empowerment must be delivered at the doorstep, including PCEP. Now the platform that you need to use to deliver that.
Presidential Delivery Unit Head Kusobile Kamwambi underscored the need to use technology to spur development.
Everything relies on ICTs. Using ICT, our farmers, individuals, businesses can connect even with global markets. We're happy to see that some of our students that have gone online, even in the rural areas, are able to access scholarships online that are only available online, information which they could never otherwise have had access to if they did not have connectivity. So this is a big one for us. We are able to connect it to almost all the presidential priorities. ICT is a key enabler.
Meanwhile, Smart Zambia National Coordinator Percy Chinyama believes technology development will help to boost connectivity and access to information for millions of Zambians.
Today, proudly would like to announce that we have issued what we call a network license in the international market segment for data.
Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Zesco Limited says it was losing a sum of 42,000 United States dollars annually to a named Indian company whose system was being used to process Zesco's payroll. Speaking at the launch of the digital transformation platform in Lusaka Wednesday, Zesco Managing Director Victor Mapani says the digital platform has allowed the company to save huge sums of resources as well as allow the smooth flow of operations at the company. Meanwhile, Smart Zambia National Coordinator Percy Chinyama says the world is moving towards the digital space, adding that digital transformation can transform the Zambian economy if well harnessed. Here's a report.
Zesco, Zambia's power utility company, had been losing a sum of 42,000 United States dollars annually to a named Indian company whose system it had been using for many years to process its payroll.
Then he asked me a question to say, so our foreigners have our salaries, isn't it? So I said, yes, they have. Okay, so how much was this payroll system? I said it was about $452,000. And any changes which happens, what happens to it? Do they charge you? I said yes, we have a yearly fee, support and maintenance, which is about $42,000. And if there's an enhancement, you pay something like $10,000, $20,000.
This loss, however, came to an end in December of 2022 when the new managing director, Victor Mapani, directed that the company, working with Smart Zambia, should come up with its own system that will allow for the company's payroll to be processed locally, thereby employing more Zambian people.
In January 2022, Zesco aggressively embarked on a digital transformation journey. And the first one that came through was I refused to be paid from a payroll which was being managed by someone from India, seated in a nice office in India, and then receiving all our hard-earned money in its forex form. And so I tasked Frank and team that we are going to change this and we're going to do it.
The MD, who spoke at the launch of the digital transformation platform in Lusaka Wednesday, says he is happy that the system has finally come to life and says it has improved the operations of the company as well as helped SESCO save resources.
Check, for example, if there's any movement at all in the organization, even when a general worker is transferred, I'll receive a notification. I'll know exactly which person, where they are going and how they are going. And if there are queries, I would ask, but why is this person moving? There was an incident where there was a wholesome promotion of people. Somehow, over 100 people were promoted in 1 month. And I just sent a query saying, how did this happen? Was this digitally done? And then I was told, no, letters were done. I said, reverse them. And I click of a button, reversed all the transformation, all the promotions, which were mostly just based on leniency or this one favors this.
In Smart Zambia, National Coordinator Percy Chinyama, who was present at the meeting, wants to see Zambia dive more into the technological space, adding that many countries that have invested in technologies, such as Singapore, have a stronger economy despite not having natural resources.
What ZESCO has done is that it has just moved with the times. And this is how it should be. Moving with the times. So I am very happy with this development that has happened in your company, MD.
Digital transformation increases efficiency and productivity while offering better customer experience and satisfaction. Prudence Chota reporting for Camnet TV News.
Members of Parliament from the Opposition Patriotic Front Tuesday afternoon walked out of Parliament in protest against what they termed as vindictive arrests and prolonged detentions. Leader of the opposition in Parliament, Brian Mundubile, led Patriotic Front PF members of Parliament in the press conference where he expressed displeasure over the continued arrests. He says they are not against arrests, but the manner in which they are being arrested. He alleges that police officers are getting instructions from State House to effect arrests on PF lawmakers.
This country is slowly sliding into a police state, where the police are the law unto themselves. The police are given instructions straight from State House on how to harass these honorable members of Parliament. And we know the scheme. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to see what is going on. The President of this Republic, President Hakainde Hichilema, intends to instill fear in these members of Parliament because attempts have been made to try and get them on the UPND side. These honorable members that you are seeing here, countrymen and women, are honorable members. These are citizens that have stood by you, the voters, and have vowed to continue providing checks and balances in this country. So when they've been unable to attract the attention of these honorable members, they've resorted to intimidation and persecution. So today's protest, the walking out of Parliament, was to send a message, firstly to the Minister of Home Affairs, that we will not stand idle and allow our members to be harassed in the manner that the police have continued to do. This is also a warning to the Inspector General of Police. Act within the law, act with respect. The people that you are seeing here are members of Parliament, elected members of Parliament. Each one of these have got over 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people that voted for them. They therefore cannot be treated in the manner that you, Inspector General of Police, have continued to act. There were recent reports that police intend to train some of their staff. Our recommendation as members of parliament is that we start with the top command. Because so far, the police have been very disappointing in the manner that they've handled the police matters. We want to appeal to you, Inspector General of Police, ensure that your top command are fully trained to even understand the ways in which members of parliament or elected members of parliament should be treated.
Chief Accountant at ZESCO, Helen Kalumbi, 47, has testified before the Lusaka Chief Resident Magistrate, Davis Chimbwiri, that Patriotic Front sympathizer Francis Mchemwa, popularly known as Commander 2, was a bona fide employee of ZESCO Limited in 2020. Ms. Kalumbi, in cross-examination, testified that the 141,400 kwacha paid to Mr. Mchemwa in form of allowances was authorized by the senior management at the power utility company. This is in a matter in which Mr. Mchemwa is jointly charged with 2 others with 10 charges of money laundering related charges. The trio is facing 10 counts of possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime and failure to comply with the provisions of the Income Tax Act. Here's a report.
A chief accountant at ZESCO, Helen Kalumbi, 47, has testified before Lusaka Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chimbwiri that Patriotic Front sympathizer Francis Mchemwa, popularly known as Commander 2, was a bona fide employee of ZESCO in 2020. In her testimony, Ms. Kalumbi testifies that 141,400 kwacha was paid to Mr. Mchemwa in 2020 for allowances, citing that he was employed at the power utility firm in the Department of Security, which at the time was called Legal Directorate. In cross-examination, Ms. Kalumbi explains that the subsistence allowances were authorized by senior management at ZESCO. Meanwhile, a senior accountant at Lusaka City Council, Moses Piri, 39, testifies that in 2020, the council collected revenue below the expected budget from intercity bus terminus. He explains the main revenue streams at the bus station are bus registration, rentals, and gate fees. Mr. Piri testifies before Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chimbwiri that between September 2021 and September 2022, the revenue began to increase. The witness, with the use of graphs, explained that 18 million kwacha was amassed in 2021 between September as revenue from gate fees at intercity bus terminals, compared to 14 million kwacha in 2020 due to the pronouncement to remove cadres from bus stations. The state witness, in his testimony, indicates that after the removal of the alleged Patriotic Front cadres from the bus station, revenue streams increased but could not identify the accused. As the graphical testimony elapses, a quantity surveyor, Chireshendazie, 32, testified that in November 2022, she carried out a site visit in order to ascertain the cost of various properties owned by the accused, which were under investigation by the Anti-Corruption Commission, ACC. In her testimony, Ms. Ndaze investigated a 4-bedroom dwelling house, 2-guest apartment with 3-story building, kitchen, laundry, bar, an office, swimming pool, guardhouse, and incomplete structures at floor slab level, another at ring beam level. She says the total cost of the properties is about 10.8 million kwacha. In this matter, Mr. Mchemwa is jointly charged with 2 others with 10 charges of money laundering related charges. The trio is facing 10 counts of possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime and failure to comply with the provisions of the Income Tax Act. It is alleged that Mchemwa, popularly known as Commander 2, between January 1st, 2020 and August 31st, 2021 in Lusaka, dishonestly obtained a pecuniary advantage in the sum of 141,400 kwacha in the form of subsistence allowances from ZESCO Limited on the pretext that he undertook official trips when in fact not. Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chiwili has adjourned the matter to Thursday, 8th June 2023. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
On that note, we break for some commercials. We have international news coming up. Don't go away.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Rainglow, your smart irrigation partner.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet Television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Welcome back, and now in international news, UN war crimes judges ruled that aging Rwandan genocide suspect Felicien Kabuga is unfit to stand trial that should still go through a stripped down legal process in a decision announced on Wednesday. Kabuga, who is 88 according to officials but claims to be 90, is a former tycoon accused of setting up a hate broadcaster that fueled the 1994 slaughter of around 800,000 people. Kabuga went on trial in The Hague in September last year, but judges said medical experts had now found that he had severe dementia and could not take part properly in court. The International Residue Mechanism for Criminal Tribunals said in an order that it therefore finds Mr. Kabuga not fit for trial and is very unlikely to regain fitness in the future. Judges said they wanted to adopt the alternative finding procedure that resembles a trial as closely as possible, but without the possibility of a conviction. For this and other international stories, we monitored African news.
Rwandan genocide suspect Felicien Kabuga has been declared unfit to stand trial by the UN war crimes judges, saying he had severe dementia and could not take a stand properly. The 88-year-old is accused of setting up a hate broadcaster that fueled the 1994 slaughter of around 800,000 people. The International Residual Mechanism for Criminal Tribunals said in an order that it therefore finds that Mr. Kabuga is not fit for trial and is very unlikely to regain fitness in the future. Judges say they wanted to adopt an alternative finding procedure that resembles a trial as closely as possible, but without the possibility of a conviction.
Kenya's Finance Bill of 2023 has a raft of proposals that intend to expand the country's tax bracket. One of the controversial proposals aims at subjecting income earned through digital content monetization to a 15% withholding tax. Eric Omondi, a renowned comedian, is leading content creators in opposing the proposal.
Do not attempt, do not think, do not try to tax youths, and especially online media. Do not tax content creators, because you do not create them, you do not support them, you don't know who they are, you don't know their struggles, you have never talked to them, you have never called them, you've never supported them, you want to tax them. That is theft. You cannot take money that does not belong to you.
The content creators decry that the proposed tax is too high for a growing digital economy, given that they get minimal government support in content creation.
What we earn on YouTube or other social media platforms cannot cater for our needs. So when the government comes in and says that they want to tax 15% from it, it means that they are leaving us on a negative side.
Economists also indicate that if approved, the proposal will have major effects on the income earned by individual content creators and the growth of the entire digital economy.
One of the irony in this digital service tax is levying a withholding of 15% on it. And remember, this is just a withholding tax. Withholding tax is not final. So again, the digital content creators will be expected to do their books at the end of the year to show how much they earned. In other words, after you've paid 15%, you'll still be expected to pay what is called a final tax.
The finance bill will be tabled in Parliament this Thursday, and the focus now will turn on the members of Parliament to see whether they will pass it or reject it.
The joint committee assigned by the Libyan Parliament and the High Council of State 6+6 to prepare electoral laws have signed agreement ahead of the planned 2023 legislative and presidential elections. The signing took place Tuesday during a meeting in Buznica, a resort city south of the Moroccan capital, Rabat. We succeeded in signing agreements on the legislative and presidential laws with the agreement of all the members of the Commission, and we hope that this step will be beneficial for the stability of Libya, which will make it possible to organize legislative and presidential elections this year. The meeting of the Joint Committee in Morocco is the first of its kind to take place outside Libyan territory, but delegates confirmed that the committee was not subjected to pressure or interference from Morocco or from abroad. The work was satisfactory. It took into consideration the opinions of all the parties, resulting in a consensus of all members. We and the Libyan people, and we are interested to see the people have their say and express their will through the elections. The Joint Committee was formed in March by 12 members from the Libyan House of Representatives and the High State Council. Libya has seen little peace since the 2011 NATO-backed uprising that toppled Muammar Gaddafi.
On that note, we come to the end of our midday news, but before we go, another look at the stories that made the headlines. Witness tells the court that Francis Muchenwa, a PF supporter, was on a ZESCO payroll. Patriotic Front members of Parliament walk out of Parliament protesting over police arrests. In international news, Rwanda genocide suspect Felicien Kabuga declared unfit to stand trial. And now we take a look at today's verse, which comes from the book of John, chapter 15, verse 13, and it says, "Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends." That's it. That's all we had for the news at 12. Don't forget to join us again at 19:30 when we bring to you our menus. On behalf of the entire production team, have a blessed afternoon.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Rainglow, your smart irrigation partner.
It's time! Camnet TV brings to you an exciting kids show called My Creation. Join me, Sarah Chandamangaza, to interact with kids with special skills and talents between the age range of 9 to 17. This show will come to you every Saturday at 13:30 on Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Akora kanseko, anakula chancha mukelo kula
achekerera uchomwana na inanga nava butuka uwinge wangu nangati kasambe nani ingata wishiwe pekeni tuiposhe bana fia sasa ushe umwana na nyina inga nava butuka uwinge wangu nangati kasambe nani mwe ipikia ina sheni abo mwikere nabo.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet television, call the numbers on your screen. Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Television, not just another channel.
Thank you very much. You are still on the lunch cafe on Camnet TV, and we are happy that you have decided to come and join us as we have our lunch here in terms of news. And we do have very interesting stories that are emerging from the field, and we did have one story talking about the hunger situation in the Western Province, where we are told that hunger is looming in that part of the country, as it did experience some dry spell during the rainy season, so they do not expect good harvest there, and the hunger there is looming. Also, another interesting story that is emerging, we did see the Patriotic Front member who is also media director in that particular organization, Antonio Mwanza, stepping down and resigning from the party. And we have Patrick Soko on the ground also to give us the details of that particular story. We'll get to know more about that story. Join us at exactly 19:30 when we bring to you the details of these particular stories. But let's look at the Antonio Mwanza story again, as he was speaking to the press this morning, somewhere around 11, where he announced his departure from the party, and also that he did not see the general conference of this particular party being held anytime soon. Let's have a look at this clip.
Our belief and commitment to Ubuntu, our belief and commitment to making sure that Zambia is united, and that everybody who works hard is given an opportunity to prosper. That is what makes us who we are. You cannot buy, you cannot sell Muridi. I cannot be sold. I have no price. My life is a very simple life. Anybody who knows me from my days at university know who I am. When a president of the University of Zambia was given the whole room to live in, I was living in a bunker, a pantry. I was sleeping on the bathtub, and I put a door, a broken door, on top, and that's where I was sleeping. Because I wanted to feel the pain that every student was going through who didn't have accommodation. Some people question my loyalty to the Patriotic Front. I want to say that if there's anybody who has stood for the Patriotic Front, who has fought for the Patriotic Front, who has defended the Patriotic Front, if there's anyone who defines what loyalty is, dedication, selflessness, commitment to duty is, that person is Antonio Mourinho Mwanza. I have fought for this party, the Patriotic Front. I've spent the last 5 years defending things that nobody was ready to go on radio, on TV to defend. I've spoken in favor of the party, even when it was not fashionable to do so. Even when we were unpopular, I've always stood to defend the Patriotic Front because I've always believed in our goal to ensure a properly developed Zambia in terms of infrastructure and opportunity for all, especially those people like myself who come from the compounds, and the farmers who toil every day, the workers who work every day and still can't take their children to school because the money is not enough. Because a party without a leader cannot sell. A party without a president cannot sell. Our members want to see a president elected. Our members recognize that we only have got 2 years before the next election. Our members want to see a party with a president. Having been part and parcel and worked for the Central Committee as a person that is secretariat, I can say this with confidence, that there is no commitment, there is no willingness, there is no desire, there is no dedication whatsoever from Central Committee to take this party to the General Conference.
Thank you very much. So that is what is happening in the emerging stories, where we have seen the media director from the Patriotic Front stepping down. As you may be aware, Antonio Mwanza is one political figure that started with his political career with the FDD, then moved and joined the Patriotic Front, and now he has ditched the party. We await to see his direction. And for all those details, remember our main news comes away at 19:30. Join us for that particular story and many others that are coming up at that particular time. And now, before we get into our forgotten stories, we would like to advise you, our viewers, that the number will be given to you right on the screens for you to call us and give us your thought on what we are discussing this particular afternoon. You can call us on those numbers and give us what you think. And also, if you, by any ways, you cannot call us, you can go to our Facebook page, which is Camnet TV. Go to the comment section of this particular broadcast and leave your comments there. We will be more than happy also to have a look at what you think about what we are discussing. So let's take a short break, and when we come back, we get into the next segment.
Water is life. Each drop counts, and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Welcome back. You are still on the Lunchtime Cafe on Camnet TV. And moving on, this is a segment that we call the Forgotten Stories, where we look at stories that happened way back. And on this segment today, we are looking at two stories that happened on the 8th of June in 2021 and the 8th of June in 2020. So the issue of the fight against corruption has continued to remain a thorny one. Now, on this day in 2021, TIZ launched a campaign called Share Your Story campaign, which aimed at getting the public involved in the fight against corruption. Prudence Chota brought us this report.
Corrupt practices have continued to rob the country of the much-needed development as resources meant for important sectors have ended up in the hands of a few selfish individuals. While corruption in Zambia has continued to be at the heart of Transparency International Zambia (TIZ), bringing to book those involved in the act has been a challenge owing to lack of evidence as well as the nature of those involved in the act. But in order to ensure that the public gets involved in the fight against corruption, Transparency International Zambia has launched what it terms Share Your Story campaign, which encourages members of the public to share their experience with corruption through a designated website in order to expose the real scar of everyday corruption in Zambia.
This website, the Share Your Story website, is not a website in isolation, so to speak. So it's part of the wider work that we do as TIZ in terms of fighting corruption. And part of that wider work is that we already have a mechanism through which you are able to actually formally report cases of corruption and be able to provide, whatever evidence it is that you may have found. And so through that, we hope that this will also help to sort of boost that side of things as well. And that's why we've mentioned the aspect of referrals as well to other law enforcement agencies.
The first phase of the campaign will cater for 2 provinces before being rolled out to other provinces. What is clear is that members of the public who wish to tell their story are guaranteed of total protection.
Otherwise, based on the research that was done initially, we feel the places that will implement this being Choma, Livingstone, Kitwe, Ndola and Lusaka are the most areas where we could actually do a lot of help if this campaign was to be implemented in these areas. So definitely our vision is to have it being implemented at country level.
Transparency International Zambia adds that the platform will not be used to defame anyone, as all cases reported will be well scrutinized before being published or investigated.
We are trying to avoid the naming aspect because the stories are supposed to be shared anonymously and we are not supposed to mention any names in those stories at that point. So we already mentioned that for anybody who would like to report a case where institutions and names are mentioned, we have another platform within the website that can be used to report that. So when stories are shared, there is a dedicated team within the Transparency International Zambia who just looks into the suitability of that story to be flagged on public domain.
And GIZ has pledged its commitment at fighting corruption in Zambia by ensuring that funds are available to this cause.
We supported 2 different parts of this campaign essentially. So first was research. So we started probably a couple of years ago doing just research on understanding of how people see corruption in Zambia and how they report currently using the existing ERA platform. And at the back of that, we saw, okay, how can we encourage Zambians to report corruption more? And what else is needed to support the anti-corruption work that DZ is currently doing? And at the back of that research phase that we supported, there were recommendations of what should be done. And then we supported the development of this campaign. So
fighting corruption requires a concerted effort of all stakeholders. With the Tell Your Story campaign, members of the public are encouraged to take advantage of the platform and report all corrupt practices. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Thank you very much. So that was a story that came through from TIZ in 2021. And in 2020, on this very day, the Young African Leaders Initiative, YARI, spoke about finding amicable ways of sorting out matters as opposed to protests and violence. Here's a report.
is a non-violent movement, and one of the key things the movement has ever propagated has been dialogue and engagement. The movement has urged the young people chanting about freedom of speech to desist from moving with the wind. Yali President Andrew Ntewewe says the movement's informed point of view is that young people should first define and understand what the issues are. Mr. Ntewewe has noted that the demonstrations do not solve anything as they only result in damage of public property. He has also called on young people to understand the good intentions of the head of state.
I want to be very clear that we are a respecter of freedom of speech. And I think that we have heard the president time and again. He has spoken very clearly about how much he respects people's freedom to express themselves. In fact, we have not heard the president saying, "Don't criticize me." He has never said that. The only thing that he has stated, which we agree with, is that when you are doing your expression of freedom, you must understand that your rights have got limitations. And your limitations come in when you injure others. So if you are going to go on the street and demonstrate in the name of freedom of expression, and you begin to destroy public property and private property, that is in the realms of criminal activity. So we agree with the president when he says, let us be cautious, let us be analytical, but most importantly, for the young people who want to demonstrate, for us it's an issue of what are the issues.
The movement has since described itself as a respecter of freedom of speech, adding that President Edgar Lungu respects people's freedom, but only requested an understanding of the limitations.
If the issues are not defined, young people are going to be found playing a political game where they are propelling a political narrative. We are not in the business of doing politics. We are in the business of promoting young people's rights. So we don't want to have a situation where young people find themselves becoming tools for violence for an individual or for a political party. No wonder we have advocated and stated that the best way to go is engagement. Because after all, it is only in this country that you have adequate means of expressing yourself. You have enough radio stations across the country. You now have television stations across the country. You also have social media, which you are able to express yourself. The only thing we are saying is that as you express yourself, let you express yourself in a responsible manner.
Meanwhile, Brian Wembia, popularly known as Beeflo, who had emerged a hero among many Zambians for refusing to apologize to President Edgar Lungu, as demanded by Mr. Lusambo, is seen having a good time at State House after the two allegedly reconciled over their misunderstandings. Reporting for Camnet Television in Lusaka, Zambia, Namwinga Mwinga.
Thank you very much. So those are the stories that we got from 2021, and of course 2020 stories that have been forgotten. We just wanted to refresh your minds about things that were happening in those particular days. Now, we are moving on to the next segment, but before we do, we want to remind you that you can get in touch with us by going to our Facebook page, which is Camnet TV. Go to this particular broadcast and then leave your comments there, or alternatively you can call the numbers that will be given to you a little later on and get to give us what you think about what we are looking at. For now, we take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be getting into the next segment. Welcome back. You are still watching the Lunch Cafe on Camnet TV, and now this is the segment that gives you, our viewers, the opportunity to come through and give us your thoughts on the issues that we are looking at in a particular day. Now, to do that, you can call us on 0973 167840. That's 0973 167840. Alternatively, you can call us on our MTN line, which is 0968 675273. That's 0968675273. So those are the numbers if you want to get interactive and tell us what you're thinking about what you're looking at this afternoon. You can call those particular numbers and tell us what is on your mind as regards what we are looking at this particular afternoon. You can alternatively go to our Facebook page, which is Camnet TV, and leave your comments there about what we are discussing, and then we'll be more than happy to look at what you think. We do have some messages from our Facebook page. Kenny Chewe says, why did he invite the press when he couldn't take questions? He might as well would have just gone live on Facebook. So that is a message coming from our Facebook page, and I'm sure this is in relation to Antonio Mwanza's presser, which was held mid-morning today. And also Branson's Mwanza says he talked of him being loyal to the party. How loyal? Okay, so this is also in relation, I believe, to the presser that was held by the Patriotic Front media director Antonio Mwanza, who has since left that particular position, and the party we learnt during that particular briefing. So you can get in touch with us on 0973 167840, 0973 167840, and also 0968 675273. Those are the numbers that you are dialing if you want to get in touch with us and give us your thought on some of the stories that we are looking at this particular afternoon. We did start with the emerging stories, where we did look at the story of hunger looming in the Western Province, and also we did look at a story that spoke about the 65 million kwacha community action against corruption, expressing concern as to why the matter is still quiet when there are allegations that the money has gone missing. They have expressed concern as regards that particular matter also. And also we did have another story which is the one we saw the media director from the Patriotic Front standing down and also leaving the party, and he also says he does not see the party holding the general conference anytime soon, as there is no willingness from the party leadership to hold that particular conference. Those are the stories, and also we did look at some stories from the past, the forgotten stories, where we did see Yali President then Andrew Ntewewe, who spoke about finding amicable ways of sorting out issues as opposed to protests, demonstrations, and of course violence. And we did also look at a story where the Transparency International Zambia had launched a website that would allow citizens to participate in the fight against corruption by way of reporting to that particular website. Those are the two stories that came from the Forgotten Stories segment. Now we have opened our phone lines, and you can call us on the numbers that are on your screens for you to give us your thoughts as regards the issues we are looking at this particular morning, or you can go to our Facebook page and leave your comments on this particular broadcast on Facebook, so that we get to hear what you, as our esteemed viewer, thinks about what is happening around us in this country, and also maybe there is any latest news happening in your area. This is the opportunity for you to come through and give us those particular issues that are happening in your area. So this is the Camnet lunchtime cafe, and we are, remember, on DSTV channel 274 and also channel 25 on Go TV, and on Star Times we are on Topstar, sorry, we are on channel 106. So those are the platforms you can catch us on, and you have now been given an opportunity to talk to us. Give us a call as regards the issues that we are looking at this particular afternoon, so that we could have a chat with you and just get to understand what you think about the stories that we are looking at. The numbers are on your screens. It's 0973167840, 0973167840, and alternatively you can call us on 0968675273. That's 0968675273. Those are the contact details if you want to get in touch with us and give us your thoughts on this particular program. And the issues that we are looking at are varying from the issue of the member of the Patriotic Front who has just left, Antonio Mwanza, and resigned his position as media director. And also we are looking at the story as regards CAC registering concern as why the issue of the 65 million still remains silent after the allegations that the money had gone missing. And we also had a story of hunger looming in the Western Province due to the dry spell that was experienced in that particular area during the rainy season. So those are the emerging stories from various parts of the country that are coming through. You will be informed details of those particular stories in our menus at exactly 19:30 tonight, when we bring to you the details of these stories that we are looking at this afternoon. Also, from the Forgotten Stories basket, we did find stories regards to Yali and what they thought was the best way of resolving issues, as opposed to protests and demonstrations. And also we did look at a story of the TIZ then launching a website that would help in the fight against corruption. So those are the issues that we are looking at this afternoon. And remember that you can now call us on the numbers that are on your screens and give us your thought and give us your view on what these things that we are looking at, what do you make of these stories that we are looking at. And also you can go to our Facebook page, which is Camnet TV. Go to that particular page, like it, share it, and then go to the comment section and then leave your comments down there. We'll be more than happy to see what your thoughts are as we look at these various issues on the lunch cafe on Camnet TV. Let's take a short break, and when we come back, we will be picking your calls.
It's time! Camnet TV brings to you an exciting kids show called My Creation. Join me, Sarah Chandamagaza, to interact with kids with special skills and talents between the age range of 9 to 17. This show will come to you every Saturday at 13:30 on Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Thank you very much. This is the Lunchtime Cafe, and we do have a caller on the line. Hello, good afternoon. Hello? Hello, good afternoon. Okay, we don't seem to be communicating with that particular caller. We seem not to have connected. But you are now have been given an opportunity to give your thought on what we are discussing this afternoon. And you can call us on the numbers that are on your screens, which is 0973-167840. And give us your contribution on this particular program. Alternatively, you can call us on 0968-675273. Those are the numbers. If you want to get in touch with us, call us and give us your contributions and thoughts as regards what we are looking at this particular afternoon. And as I did say, and I did indicate earlier on, there's an interesting story from the Patriotic Front, which is a developing story. We do have a caller now. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is Robert from
Mr. Robert, you are live on Camnet TV. Please go ahead and give us your thoughts.
Yes, sir. It's about the issue of climate change as I lead to certificate of food, especially in Western province of Ukraine. So the factors are that government need to deliver inputs on time so that farmers can grow area, and also government need to make sure that the farmers are clean in terms of once they harvest the crop, we need to put at least a separate site that will assist in encourage farmers to grow. Then the other thing on PFCC. What PF needs to do, they need to put their act in order, whereby they have to rather make the president or candidate, and so that they can able to manage the affairs of the department. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We really do appreciate your contribution. The 0973-167840 is the number you are dialing if you want to get in touch with us and give us your thought on what we are discussing this particular afternoon. Joseph, our previous caller, was talking about the story of the hunger looming in the Western Province, and he feels that government must distribute inputs a little bit earlier this year in order to ensure that people do not starve again. Farmers are given an opportunity to plant their crops on time. So 0973-167840 is the number if you want to participate on this particular program. You can call that particular number. Alternatively, you can go to our Facebook page, which is Camnet TV, and leave your comments on this particular broadcast. So you go to that particular page, like it, and leave your comments there. We have another caller. Hello, good afternoon. Very well, thanks. Your name and where you are calling us from?
I'm calling from Murena.
Please go ahead, sir.
Yes, I'm calling from
kindly reduce the volume on your TV set.
Yes, it's not very clear to the person that man in the fact for the so why the touching issue the president react fast. So I will say corruption. I recall very well. Honorable Minister said something about corruption. Such that the president react and direct to the Minister of Infrastructure and the Minister of Finance to go to court. To take Mr. Muller to court. So we are not next year to the president. He verified the constitution what is talking her. It's not a true green. It's not a true green. But normally everyone must use true green. You cannot say that in such manner when the party is going through crisis. Our members have been arrested every day. So how can anyone be free to vote for national? It was even if it was the leader. The same day, the same leader was arrested. So that's our party. So that's someone that it's not a problem. Just everyone to bring in order the quick question that we are that's our
Thank you very much for coming through. You can also call us on 0973 167840. That's the number to dial if you want to give us a comment on this particular program. If you do have a contribution also which you want to share on Facebook, you can go to our Facebook page, which is Camnet TV. Go to the comment section of this particular broadcast and leave your contribution there. We'll be more than happy to have a look at what you think as regards the topics that we are looking at this particular afternoon. Now remember that when you call us, you reduce the volume on your TV set so that we can communicate without any difficulties. So 0973167840. That's 0973 rather 167840. Alternatively, you can call us on 0968 675273. Those are the numbers that you are calling us on, and kindly ensure that you reduce the volume on your TV set before you call us so that we can communicate without any difficulties. You can also send your contributions to our Facebook page, which is Camnet TV, and go to that particular page, like it, share it, and also go to the comment section of this particular broadcast and leave your contributions there. We'll be more than happy to have a look at them. So 0973 167840. 0973 167840 is the number that you are dialing if you want to get in touch with us and give us your thoughts on the issues that we are looking at this particular afternoon. You can also call us on our MTN line, which is 0968 675273. Those are the two numbers you can use if you want to get in touch with us on this particular program. We are looking at stories to do with the hunger which is looming in the Western Province, and also the Community Action Against Corruption registering concern as to why the issue of the 65 million has gone quiet, even after allegations that the money has gone missing. And also we are looking at a story to do with the resignation of the media director from the Patriotic Front, Antonio Mwanza. And we are also looking at a few stories from our Forgotten Stories basket, where TIZ had launched a website to look at how they could have citizens participate in the fight against corruption. And also Yali did speak about better ways of resolving matters as opposed to violence and protests. So those are the stories and the issues that we are looking at. Let's quickly look at this clip where Antonio Mwanza was talking to the press this morning, where he did announce his departure from the party.
Our belief and commitment to Ubuntu, our belief and commitment to making sure that Zambia is united and that everybody who works hard is given an opportunity to prosper. That is what makes us who we are. You cannot buy, you cannot sell grain, I cannot be sold. I have no price. My life is a very simple life. Anybody who knows me from my days at university know who I am. When a president of the University of Zambia was given the whole room to live in, I was living in a bunker, a pantry. I was sleeping on the bathtub, and I put a door, a broken door, on top, and that's where I was sleeping. Because I wanted to feel the pain that every student was going through who didn't have accommodation. Some people question my loyalty to the Patriotic Front. And I want to say that if there's anybody who has stood for the Patriotic Front, who has fought for the Patriotic Front, who has defended the Patriotic Front, if there's anyone who defines what loyalty is, dedication, selflessness, commitment to duty is, that person is Antonio Mourinho Mwanza. I have fought for this party, the Patriotic Front. I've spent the last 5 years defending things that nobody was ready to go on radio, on TV to defend. I've spoken in favor of the party, even when it was not fashionable to do so. Even when we were unpopular, I've always stood to defend the Patriotic Front because I've always believed in our goal to ensure a properly developed Zambia in terms of infrastructure and opportunity for all, especially those people like myself who come from the compounds, and the farmers who toil every day, the workers who work every day and still can't take their children to school because the money is not enough. Because a party without a leader cannot sell. A party without a president cannot sell. Our members want to see a president elected. Our members recognize that we only have got 2 years before the next election. Our members want to see a party with a president. Having been part and parcel and worked for the Central Committee as a person at the Secretariat, I can say this with confidence, that there is no commitment, there is no willingness, there is no desire, there is no dedication whatsoever from Central Committee to take this party to the General Conference.
Thank you very much. So that was the press briefing that was held this morning by Antonio Mwanza, who is the media director, Patriotic Front, who has since stepped down from that particular position and has ditched the party, citing various reasons that he was giving in that particular clip. But you can get the details of that particular story in our main news at 19:30 as we bring to you various other stories as well, which will include the story of the looming hunger in the Western Province, and also the Community Action Against Corruption have also complained about the 65 million quota, and they are also that's also a story that you can look out for in our main news at exactly 19. But remember that you can call us for now on the numbers that are on your screens to give us your thoughts as regards the stories that we are looking at this particular afternoon. And a little later on the program, we are going to be getting to the field as we speak to one of our reporters who is on the ground attending one of the meetings, just to give us some information as regards to what is happening in that particular meeting and what the meeting is all about. So that will be a little bit later on the show. But for now, we are taking in your calls on 0973 167840. That's the number, 167840 on Airtel. On MTN, you can call us on 0968 675273. That's 0968 675273. 7473. Those are the numbers. You can call us and give us your contributions. Also, remember that you can go to our Facebook page and leave your comments on this particular broadcast. Just go to your Facebook, search for Camnet TV, and then go to this particular broadcast and leave your comments there, as we have given you an opportunity to give us your thoughts on the issues that we are looking at this particular afternoon. Various stories coming through from all over the country, and our reporters are on the ground making sure that we do get the stories as they come. So later on, a little later on, we are going to be giving you, we are going to be getting down to one of our reporters who is in the field to give us an update on what is happening wherever they are. And also we have opened the phone lines, and you can now call us on the numbers that are on your screens, so that we can discuss issues to do with what we are looking at. You give us your perspective, and we are going to be more than happy to see what you think about our stories. Inoman says, good afternoon, Makokwa, long time. How are you doing? Calling. This message is coming from Kitwe in Kamitondo. Thank you very much, Inoman. We do appreciate your contributions, and of course your support. We really appreciate. So you can call us on the numbers that are on your screens and give us your thoughts on the stories that we are looking at. Antonio Mwanza leaving the Patriotic Front, the hunger looming in the Western Province, CAC expressing concern as regards the 65 million kwacha, and also not forgetting the issue of the looming hunger, of course, and the forgotten stories. We were looking at the story where Yali was talking about better ways of addressing matters as regards to violence, as opposed to violence and protest. And also we did look at a story where the TIZ had launched a website with a bid of having citizens participate in the fight against corruption by way of reporting to that particular website. Those are the stories that happened in 2021 and 2020 respectively, from our Forgotten Stories segment. We do have a caller on the line. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Cosby.
Patrick, thank you very much for joining us on the Lunch Cafe this afternoon. Tell us, where are you at and what is happening where you are?
Yeah, interesting. We are at the Camnet committee. Yes, and quite a number of activities have been taking place. So Zambia is the host of this important regional meeting. And we are happy to be among journalists providing coverage to this important event. Yes, so the committee meeting is started on 8th of June 2023 in Lusaka. Yes, and the theme is economic integration for a thriving commerce anchored on green investment, value addition, and tourism. Yes, so that's the theme. Yeah, the area President Akande Chilamabid addressed the meeting, and we also had the outgoing chairperson of Comesa, who is the president of Egypt, and the president Akande Chilama has now become the chair over the Comesa. And the instruments of power have since been exchanged between the two presidents. Yes, so we also had other heads of state who were giving made statements. And this is Kenya's President William Ruto, and also President of Malawi, President Chakwera. And we also had a representative for the Libyan president and the vice president. would address the delegates here. Yeah, so starting with President Ruto of Kenya, he did highlight quite a number of issues that are affecting regional integration. And the president did allude to the fact that Africa needs to unite in order to make significant progress in integrating and promoting trade among itself. So what has been happening is that Africa trades less with itself compared to other countries beyond the continent. So we were able to hear the Kenyan president make a significant pronouncement and commitment which he wants COMESA to take, and also underscore the need for COMESA to take a lead in ensuring that it gives to promote the issue of regional integration. Yes, so quite a number of issues were highlighted, and we'll continue to keep people posted on what is happening.
You did mention, Patrick, that Egyptian president, who is the outgoing chairman of COMESA, did also have an opportunity to speak. What were some of the issues that he brought out?
Yes, so all the presidents are talking.
Oh, we lost connection with Patrick. We do hope that he's going to call us back just to give us details. He is currently attending the COMESA summit that is currently happening right here in Lusaka. That's where he is, and we are going to be getting more details of that particular meeting and what is transpiring there, of course, during our main news at 19:30. Don't forget to join us at that particular time, as we are going to be looking in detail most of the stories that we are giving you snippets of right now. We do hope that Patrick will be able to get back to us, and so that we can conclude that particular discussion as regards what is happening at that particular COMESA summit and what the presidents are talking about. And he did mention and explain to us what the Kenyan president William Ruto said, what was contained in his speech. And we do hope that he's going to get back and give us more in that particular update as we continue with this particular program. Remember that now the time has been given to you as our viewers to give us your view on what we are discussing today, and the numbers are on your screens. You can call us on those particular numbers and tell us what you think about what we are looking at this particular afternoon. You can also go to our Facebook page, which is Camnet TV, and go to that particular page, like it, and then go to the comment section of this particular broadcast and leave your comments there. We will be more than glad to have a look at what you think about what we are discussing. So the stories that we are having today include the one where we were looking at the issue of the looming hunger in the Western Province. Miriam did bring a story to us telling us that farmers there are complaining of hunger, and it is looming in the area because of the dry spell that was experienced during the rainy season. And also we did look at a story of the Community Action Against Corruption, who seem to be concerned with the silence as regards the 65 million kwacha, considering the fact that there were rumors that the money is nowhere to be found. And also we did look at some stories from the past, 2021 and 2020 respectively. Of course, we did look at stories to do with how Yali speaking on how to resolve conflicts, and also the issue of corruption, and providing a website for citizens to participate by way of reporting to that particular website any suspicions of corruption. So we do hope that Patrick is going to get back to us and give us a highlight of what is happening at the ongoing summit. And we did hear him give us some details about some of the speakers that spoke at that particular event. 0973167840 is the number if you want to talk to us. 0973167840. That's the number if you want to get in touch with us. And on MTN, you can get in touch with us on 0968675273. That's the number if you want to get in touch with us on our MTN line. You can also go to our Facebook page, Camnet TV, go to this particular broadcast. It is actually live right now, and go to the comment section, leave your contribution on this particular broadcast. We'll be more than happy to see what you are thinking about the topics that we are looking at this afternoon. For now, let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with picking your calls.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet Television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Join me, Amazing Katamanda, on the weekly gospel show for those exciting and interesting interviews with your favorite gospel
Hold on to me when it's too dark to see. You cannot put your power back to
Hallelujah. And this time around, we are bringing to you entertainment news and the countdown, as you guys are able to nominate your top 3 favorite music videos of the week. Remember, it's every Saturday at 10:45. You can also catch repeats every Monday at 10 hours. Camnet TV is not just another time.
Thank you very much. Welcome back. This is the Lunch Cafe on Camnet TV. We do appreciate the fact that you are watching us, and we do appreciate the fact that you chose channel 274 on DSTV and channel 25 on GoTV, and not forgetting 106 on Topstar, just to follow the proceedings of this particular program. We do appreciate. This is the Lunchtime Cafe. We did give you stories that are emerging. We did give you stories from the forgotten segment, where we brought you stories from way back just to revive your memories. And we did also give you an opportunity to call us and give us your thought on the stories that we were looking at on this particular day. And we did also have interesting stories from the emerging stories, where we have seen a number of stories as regards to hunger looming in the Western Province. Also, we have seen a story talking about the missing 65, the Community Action Against Corruption, talking about the 65 million kwacha, and expressing concern that there is silence even after allegations that that particular money is missing. And also we did look at the story of the Patriotic Front Media Director, Antonio Mwanza, who has resigned from the party And those are some of the stories that we were looking at this particular afternoon. On that note, we come to the end of this particular program. Don't forget to join us again tomorrow at exactly 11:45 as we come to you with another interesting program.